It's unbelievable to me that Sneako remains in Islam because he's obviously, in many videos I've seen, had questions. He's been told by an imam. I watched one video where they were accusing him of being a kafir because he questioned some things about the Prophet Muhammad and his marriage to a child that was 6. So I don't even want to get into that because it's just gross. But let's watch this video from Alex Jones.
The manifesto, they're Mexican white nationalist cat boys. So okay.
Durka, Muhammad Jihad.
Well, it's stuff like that is.
What do you want me to tell you? I'm your friend, like the Quran says, and then stab you in the back?
The Quran doesn't say that.
How about I become a Shiite with you?
The Quran doesn't say that. How could he say that right from the beginning? What about the sword verse right here? It says, "But when the forbidden months are past, then fight and slay pagans wherever you find them and seize them, beleaguer them and lie and wait for them in every stratagem of war." Surah 929, "Fight those who believe not in Allah nor the last day until they pay the jizya with willing submission and feel themselves subdued." Furthermore, Muslims will paint that as a protection tax, but that's like the way gangs work, right? Like you pay a protection tax to protect you from the gang, not other people. Furthermore, Muslims have, Dev Sherm, or they had Dev Sherm in the past, which is where they, ride through the Ottoman Empire through Christian towns from time to time, and then start stealing, little boys, forcibly converting them into Islam, and then raising them to be fighters for the Muslim empires. And then it says here, "O ye who believe, fight those of the disbelievers who are near you, and let them find harshness in you." I mean, Surah 9 is well known as the most violent verse of the Quran. It was chronologically written last as well. And that's how you're supposed to take them, is like the ones that were written last are the most relevant. So, but there's more than 100 statements like that in the Quran advocating for violence, and that's really unfortunate because we shouldn't advocate for such things. But Sneako, I don't know if he's actually read the Quran. Doesn't seem like it.
We take swords and cut our heads, and for 8 hours I just marching like
That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. Or I could be a megachurch Christian with Kenneth Copeland drinking my blood. I could be with Erica Kirk shooting fireworks off my ass and twerking. You want me to do that? Small minority to demonize 2 billion people.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weasel from Connecticut, the mighty Mongol, the amazing, all-powerful, sneaky
Allahu Akbar!
Sneako.
Allahu Akbar!
You don't even have a brain.
So what makes...
Oh my goodness, what has happened? But honestly, both of these guys are a little nuts. What in the world?
You think you can deport me?
Have a brain to be
So
able to
what
get
makes
knocked
you
down.
think you can deport me if Sean Strickland can't knock me down, huh? You can't stop me. I'm coming.
I know. Then tell me.
Coming.
I'm coming.
What?
Durka.
Oh my goodness, what is that? Look at that face. Oh, for the guy on the right. What in the world? I mean, completely inappropriate behavior. This guy needs to get out of this. Get out of this. It's like he's just losing it.
Allahu Akbar!
The women.
Takbir!
The slavery that we take the women as sex slaves and
And inshallah, you become Abdul Alex Jones.
What is happening? I can't.
Assalamu alaikum. Marry your cousin. It's so much fun.
You really have...
Durka, Muhammad Jihad.
Wow.
It comes from your Jewish...
That actually is quite common. One third of the marriages in the Islamic world are incestual. Google that. Google it. It's true.
Supreme leaders. It comes from Abraham, who you were the bad son. You are the bad Islami. Bad, Abraham say. You are not the chosen. No good, sneaky. You are cursed, sneaky. You are cursed to wear nightgown and marry cousin. Bye, sneaky. I love you.
Hey,
I'll see you tomorrow.
stop killing...
His name is a sneaky Sneako snake. All right, we love you, Sneaky.
See you tomorrow. Salam.
Oh my goodness. I don't even know what to say about that. That was completely bananas. People are completely losing it though. Wow. Okay. And then next we have this Joe Rogan clip where him and Rupert Lowe both agree Islam is a bit of a problem. You bring this culture into your country and they destroy it from within. I mean, remember, Islam did take over 2/3 of the Christian world, plus other parts of other religions, like Pakistan and Afghanistan, where like Buddhist and Hindu or something. Iran was Zoroastrian, and all those people are gone. There used to be far more Jewish people in the Middle East and North Africa, and they are all. I mean, almost all of them are gone, except for Israel and the United States, who the two places that protect them.
There's certain cultures that if you allow them to come into your community and then they institute the laws of the country where they came from, you're going to have a real problem. Like, they don't live the way you live. They don't have the same respect for women that you have. They don't treat them the same way. They don't allow dogs. Like, there's a lot of
That's right.
stuff that a lot of people might not even be aware that come with that problem. It's like, the idea is supposed to be that Western society is inclusive and progressive because we're intelligent and educated and we care. But you can care so much that you let in criminals, and then you give those criminals all your money, and then the criminals can take over your country slowly but surely. So, and this is no one thinks that's a possible thing. No, people look at the Colosseum, you look at ancient Greece, and they think, wow, I wonder what happened to those guys. What do you think happened? Probably the same shit that's happening right now to England, the same shit that could have happened to America. Civilizations fall apart for various reasons. And one great way to get them to fall apart is to bring in a bunch of people, and they don't have to follow your laws, and they bring the laws of, wherever they're from, whatever fundamentalist religion country they're from, where they have a bunch of crazy laws that are kind of archaic.
Well, this is Sharia law, Islamic law, as you probably know. I mean, again, to your point, I think the best example
Iran and Saudi Arabia still have quite a lot of those laws that are very, very, where women are very, very poorly treated.
I can give people of what happens if you do that is when Lebanon got its independence in 1948, they were a Christian country, and they were a very confident country. They were they had the best universities. They had a very open society. I never went to Beirut. I don't know if you went to Beirut, but Beirut in the 60s was meant to be the best place on earth to be. Great wine, freedom, very enlightened. It was lots of people were there. The minute that the Muslim population went over about 15%, you started to get a problem with a civil war. You got the Druze and Maronite Christians in a civil war with the Muslims, and now Lebanon is a Muslim country, and Hezbollah, backed by Iran, is effective.
Lebanon, I believe, is where Gad Saad was from. He had to escape that country, and he did it. Him and his family did it just barely. And thank God, Gad Saad came to North America, to Canada, I believe, first, and now is becoming very American. I don't know if he'll ever do the green card visa thing. I mean, he probably already did that, but become a citizen of the United States, I'd fully accept him. Let's go. Suicidal Empathy is a great book. I've been reading it just recently. But, Islam has all kinds of problems. It's got, the Islamic dilemma that they can't solve. As David Wood, the Christian apologist, has pointed out many times, as well as other Christian apologists like God Logic and the Apostate Prophet, is if the Bible is reliable, Islam is false because the Quran contradicts biblical teachings on the nature of God, Jesus, and the crucifixion. 2, if the Bible is corrupted, Islam is false because the Quran repeatedly affirms the inspiration, preservation, and authority of the Torah and the Gospel. Okay, so regardless, Islam is false. Also, they have the issue where they say it's the exact word of God, and then there's a bunch of mistakes in the Quran about history, about Christianity and Judaism. I mean, the Quran claims the Trinity is Jesus, God, and Mary. It has so many issues that they really can't solve. They have conflicting stories about the beginning of the universe. An omniscient or all-knowing being would not make these kinds of mistakes. So, an omniscient being obviously did not write the Quran. They have about a billion contradictions that they can't solve. So the internet is apostatizing, creating so many apostates for Islam, and the numbers are dropping, I think, dramatically. And, people can't do a lot to solve that problem. So people realize, the issues with Islam, and, they can't do a whole lot about it. It says here, Federalists, any discussion of Islam versus the West, one needs to commence with the main principles, governance. The core problem is that Western Islamic concepts of governance are fundamentally incompatible. Western systems deliberately designed to divide and disperse power through separation of powers, checks and balances, federalism, and individual rights. The explicit goal is to make it difficult for any single faction or bad actor to seize total control and to limit the damage if they do. Islamic political traditions, by contrast, have historically favored the concentration of authority under a unified religious political leadership with sovereignty ultimately belonging to God. And, that's significantly different than the Christian world, where it was the Christians themselves that often fought to separate themselves from the state. People think it's the other way around, but I believe it was mostly, not that way. Like the Catholics embraced canon law, and then countries took that later and turned it into common law. And I think that, the Catholics didn't want to be guided by the state. Unfortunately, like in communist China, even today, the Christians and the Buddhists have a really hard time separating themselves from these controlling states. Socialism and Islam have gone together perfectly, like two peas in a pod, and they did throughout the 20th century. And there's not really enough criticism of that because people pay more attention to the other degenerate socialist countries that also eradicated far too many people. So, as it says there, this is not a minor policy disagreement. It reflects profoundly different assumptions about human nature, authority, and the proper organization of society. Like Islam and socialism and fascism are collectivist ideologies, right? The West has Imago Dei, which is part of Genesis. Every human being is made in the image of God, which raises the lowest person, the homeless person, to a status aligned with kings and queens. And a lot of kings and queens didn't like that very much. So they tried to gain control over religions, throughout history. Sultans in the Islamic world trying to gain control over religion, but it's in the text. I mean, Sharia for them, Sharia law is pretty explicit about how you have to follow these Islamic policies. So that stuff's it's just not compatible with the West at all. It's not going to work in the end. And the Quran is not a good text, but at all in any capacity. Nothing really beneficial about it. This video though, man, this video was hilarious, hilariously goofy. But anyways, let me know. Leave a comment, like, share. Thanks for watching.